Everybody, today I'm going to make $1 Million Fudge. This is a recipe that I actually got from one of my dear friends, and my husband absolutely loves this fudge, so she gave me the recipe, so I'm going to make it for you guys, and hopefully you will make it. Now this is a vegetarian recipe because there is evaporated milk. It is not a vegan recipe, so just FYI. So you're going to need 4½ cups of sugar, a pinch of salt, 2 teaspoons butter, 1 can of evaporated milk, and this is 12 fluid ounces or 354 milliliters, 1 12-ounce package of chocolate chips, 1 12-ounce bar of German sweet chocolate. And you can get this I got this at Walmart. You can get it at Super Target or any other grocery store. This is what it looks like. And it's actually starting to melt because I just baked the solstice cakes. So I better take it off the stove. And 2 8-ounce jars of Marshmallow Cream and also 2 cups of mixed nuts. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is combine the sugar, salt, butter, and milk. So let's put the butter in there, or butter substitute. Milk. 4½ cups of sugar. 2, okay, and the salt. So just a pinch of sugar, salt. So we've got that, and it says boil for 6 minutes. I'm going to start to mix this up. Which makes a really big recipe too, or a really big batch. This makes a large 13 by 9 inch cake pan. So it's a very, very big recipe. Now, after you get this mixed up, if you want to, while you're waiting for it to boil, you can butter the 13 by 9 inch cake pan, which is what I'm going to do right now. Now, the easiest way to do this is to just take a chunk of butter and just smear it on. You just get all the edges very, very well. You can take and kind of smear it around, and that will get it very good. And of course, wash your hands before you do this because other people are going to be eating this. And there you go. So we've prepped our pan. Now we're going to see how the sugar mixture is coming. Okay, so it started to boil, so I set my timer for 6 minutes. Now because this is a sugar mixture, be careful when you're standing here because sugar mixtures, when they're boiling, can sometimes spit up at you, and they're very hot. So make sure that you have some lavender essential oil ready, so if you do get a burn, you can put that on immediately and that will help with the burn. That's actually a tip from Nika 2 Darling, since she has been through chef school and knows all the little tricks and tidbits. So. And also another reason why we stir it constantly when it is boiling is so that it doesn't burn at the bottom of the pan or scorch. So as you're stirring it, you want to scrape around the edges and make sure that you get the entire thing, and then also scrape along the bottom as well. Okay, we've got about 15 seconds left, and you'll notice after 5 or 6 minutes, or actually about 4 minutes, it starts to get kind of syrupy and a little bit thicker, and it starts to cling to the sides of the pan a lot more. Okay though, so that's our 6 minutes, so we'll shut that off, move it over, off the heat, and you add the chocolate. So we'll add the chocolate bar. Ooh, yummy. We'll add chocolate chips. Let me just put this over to the side. And we will add the 2 cups of crushed nuts. And I like to keep a container of nuts in my refrigerator so I can just have them handy. And we're also going to mix in the marshmallow whip. We'll start to get this mixed up just a little bit. Start to melt some of that chocolate. It's definitely not a healthy recipe because of all the sugar that's in it. So 2 jars of the marshmallow whip. You want to try to do this as quickly as possible because it does tend to start to set up rather quickly because of all the sugar. I'm trying to blend that in, and we've got one more tub of the whip. For those of you who like a good fudge, now surprisingly this is not a super rich fudge. I mean, it is a fudge, so of course it's going to be richer than, you know, your average chocolate, but some fudges are just extremely rich to the point where you almost can't eat it. Okay, so we've got all that in there. Now we will start mixing it up. Make sure that you scrape all the chocolate off of the bottom. Also, if you do add crushed nuts like myself, it will look chunky, but it's actually smooth. And you don't have to add the nuts either. So, when it looks like everything is mixed together, we will put it in the pan. It's definitely a 2-person job. This is very hard to get out. Smooth it in to the pan and to all the corners and edges. And you can also crush the nuts like I do if you don't like big, huge chunks of nuts. Because I know when I was younger, I always thought walnuts tasted kind of bitter. So I never liked real big chunks of nuts. Now I like, you know, walnuts and pecans and everything else. But so if your kids don't like real big chunks of nuts, or you don't, you can crush them up like I do in the blender. So yay! So now you just let this stand for a few hours, and then you can cut it and you can store it in a tin box with wax paper between the layers, or a plastic container if you'd like. So yay! Hope you enjoy. Blessed be.